I have friends. Some of them are entrepreneurs. Some of them are not entrepreneurs. The ones that are entrepreneurs totally fucking get me. 1,000% get me.
Yeah.
The ones that aren't, I mean, we can kick it, you know. It's just, I should say it's different. And it might be different for them too. Hey, my name is Veronica Cisneros, and I am a licensed marriage and family therapist, a mama of 3 girls, and married for 23 years. I am obsessed with helping you navigate through the seasons of marriage, helping couples like you break free from feeling like roommates. I will teach you the secrets to having a healthy marriage by providing tools and tips to help you reconnect in a way that you can't keep your hands off each other, where flirting and kissing is the norm in your household. Setting intentional time to date, get to know and support each other's dreams and goals so that you can grow together without keeping score or judging one another. Where you feel seen and heard even when you disagree. Where arguments end with mutual respect and understanding. Where you work together to build and strengthen your family so no one feels like they're carrying the weight of the family on their own. These are the necessary skills your children need for you to model so that they develop healthy relationships and thrive in life. This is the Empowered and Unapologetic Podcast. Hey ladies, welcome to the Empowered and Unapologetic Podcast. I'm your host, Veronica Cisneros. Today's guests are badass women entrepreneurs who I am so excited to share this episode with or record this episode with, more so because you guys are about to learn so much about building community and your businesses. So without further delay, I want to start off with Laurel. Laurel, please introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Laurel Roberts-Meese. I am the founder and owner of Laurel Therapy Collective. We are a boutique all virtual practice in California, Florida, and Pennsylvania. We do EMDR online and other trauma therapy. We also do a lot of couples work, including LGBT couples.
Woot woot. All right, Amy, we are in your hometown, Nashville, Tennessee. Please introduce yourself.
I'm Amy Goldstein, and I'm the co-founder and director of Nashville Psych. We're a private psychology group practice right here in the Music City, and we offer a wide variety of services from couples therapy, individual therapy, group therapy, and one of our specialties is doing psychoeducational evaluation. So if you're wondering, do I have ADHD? We can tell you.
Oh, can you tell me?
Next up is Courtney. So Courtney and I partied till about 2 o'clock last night. She was my party buddy. Courtney, please introduce yourself.
Thanks for the intro. Courtney Glashow. I'm also an owner of a group private practice and a psychotherapist. We're located in Hoboken, New Jersey, and also help people virtually in the state of New Jersey, New York, and Florida. I have a group of therapists at Anchor Therapy. I probably should say the name as well. And we help all ages and a lot of specialties like anxiety, depression, substance use. And yeah, we can't diagnose ADHD, so we'll have to travel to Nashville for that one. But
We do telehealth.
So as you guys already know, I'm the owner of Outside the Norm Counseling. So last year, we all went to this business summit. Who wants to go ahead and take over on how we met?
yeah, I could take over. It's in Chicago, I think in 2022. I just went to learn how to better my group private practice. It was literally for group private practice owners who own therapy practices. So it's the perfect, conference to go to, I felt. And I definitely wanted to meet other people, but, it's a little hard to do that, I think. And someone, maybe Laurel, created in this app that they had as kind of like a dating app for group private practice owners to meet up or schedule events. So she scheduled this lunch and we went to it, met each other, had such a great time that we forgot about the conference a little bit and did not return on time. But I think that was worth it. And yeah, I just remember sitting with, I think it was like 20 people.
It was a lot.
And
Yeah, it was a
just
whole lot of
relating
people.
to everyone. And it was definitely a great time. And then I think, you can tell at Laurel, like someone collected email addresses.
Yeah.
Or,
Well, I think it was Veronica collected everyone's contact info. She was like, Mastermind, just like sitting there pointing at people, like, we're going to do a mastermind group. And the reason that lunch was so important and why these relationships started is because at that conference, we were in the minority of people that had the same business model.
Mm-hmm.
Most people that went to that conference, the practice they were running was in network with insurance, which like that is a fabulous, model. And it is very different than our model, which is out of network with insurance. So you're already at a very niche conference, people that employ therapists. And then for an even more niche business model to build that community, that's why I went to that conference. And it was very successful.
That's
1000%.
exactly why I went to.
Yes.
I felt isolated and I felt like I can figure all of this out, but wouldn't it be so much better to like have a community of people that can help support and bounce ideas off of and learn from.
Mm-hmm. So in today's episode, we're going to discuss both the highlights, our fears, and what we've gotten out of being in this mastermind group. So I got to admit, our first meeting that, of course, I orchestrated, I was late to. I was 1,000% late to. And when I met all of these women, I was very much intimidated. Why? Because I'm surrounded by a bunch of badass women who have these highly successful companies. And are they going to find me out? Are they going to find out that like I'm an imposter? And it sounds so crazy because I do. The practice is successful. It's going so great. But for whatever reason, I believe it's a feeling we all get. That imposter syndrome showed up, and it was very, very, very much present. I do have to say I was most drawn to Laurel, and I was drawn to Laurel because as we're opening up, and didn't we just like go straight to business in that first meeting?
Yeah, like we semi-introduced ourselves,
Like, it was like,
and then
okay.
it was like, all right, what do we all have problems with today? Like, let's jump in.
Yeah.
Right? But what intrigued me about Laurel is she had all of these like systems. She had like an employee library. And I'm like, well, I didn't even know I need an employee library, but I need one of those. And I didn't even know I need that worksheet, but I most definitely need one of those. And I joked earlier because I was like, oh my God, I've like met my partner for life. Sorry, Willie. But I was like, holy shit. Like I was just so fascinated by like Courtney and how many clinicians she had, and like there's no money leaving her pocket for any reason, like at all. And then Amy has this 16, 17, we lost count after 16 offices, okay?
Yeah, she has so many offices, she doesn't even know how many offices
We got lost
has.
in Amy's office.
We got lost in Amy's office. But here I am surrounded by these highly successful women. And I am like wrapped around in my own insecurities. Did any of you guys have some
Yes.
fears with joining
Yes,
the?
absolutely.
Let's go ahead. Let's go there.
My thing is I was already in one actually before that, and it
Do
was
you like us better though?
oh
Duh.
obviously I no longer.
To be honest, I was jealous of your past one.
Of my
I was like,
Well,
I think
I
this is how she got so good with money and finance.
No, I don't think it was too helpful. But I do think it matters who you're with, not just personalities, which we can get into, and we will, because there might have been a fifth member that maybe will
Allegedly.
we may bring up. But stay tuned. I will say that my last group, there were some in-network providers or groups, and I'm out of network, and I do feel like that's a total different business structure,
Yes,
and
it is.
not knocking that at all, but you might as well, be a dentist and I'm a therapist. Like,
Yeah.
I just feel like it's so different. So I think biggest advice is finding not even people that do your exact same specialty even, but just a similar like business mindset, and that your goals are the same and financials are similar, and you have maybe like employees versus contractors. Like there's there's a lot there when it comes to businesses. And yeah, I think a good fit in that sense is very important for sure.
Definitely. What were some of your guys' fears, Amy? And Laura?
My fear was because I'm the only one in the group that's not a clinician. My husband is the clinical director and psychologist at our practice, and I really sort of just ended up here because I wanted to help him grow, his dream, and now it's just been so rewarding and fulfilling. But I'm thinking, oh my gosh, they're all gonna psychoanalyze me. They're all gonna be like, I don't know. But the funny thing is, I'm completely surrounded by therapists all day long.
Yeah.
Anyway, but you all are new ones that it had to be. So that was one of my intimidation things. But I knew that I needed this, so I was not very hesitant at all.
Well, and Amy, like, you fit right in. And like when we need to have tough conversations with our employees or with a former group member or, something that requires a lot of social and empathic finesse, we always look to Amy for that. So you don't have to be a therapist to like have those soft skills that are very critical.
1,000%.
Thank you.
What were some of your fears?
Well, so I was only 6 months in to having employees at the time. And I was like, oh, I'm the baby of this group. Like, they're just like looking to like, oh, well, okay, she'll see, she'll learn. Like, she's going to see how hard this is. And I didn't feel, I was worried that I wouldn't be seen as an equal or seen as like a viable business.
Yeah.
I also have the challenge of I am the only one in the group that doesn't have a physical location. Yeah. Which does create some additional challenges for my
1,000%
business.
hurdles.
And so I'm still figuring those out. They're not problematic to the point where it's like gonna ruin my business, but like you said, like waiting to be found out. Like, are they going to see my weakness and why I'm not going to succeed here?
1,000%.
Yeah.
I think that one of the benefits of our group is that we're all female. Yeah. There is just some kind of safety. I have nothing against co-ed groups at all. Yeah. I just feel slightly safer and like we could relate to each other, whether we're talking about, biological things that happen to women, whatever, we're very real with each other. And Veronica, for you, like I felt like the second I met you, you were like, this is me. I'm imperfect. And
Would you say she is unapologetic?
Yeah. She is unapologetic. Truly. But I loved it because it's so disarming. You can just relax and be like, okay, let's be real people together.
Yeah.
No BS.
And we share so much, which it does take time. We didn't start that way. Maybe Veronica did, but I think for the rest of us normal people, we didn't jump into like, how much money are you making this month? Like
there was a turning point where we did share our financials. Yes. And that's when
everyone was hesitant.
That was in Utah. Yeah, that was so we didn't share. We every 5 or 6 months we pick a different city and we go do a retreat there, and it is
different state, Laurel.
A different state. Yeah, we pick a different place, and it's a business trip. It's a work hard, play hard trip, and mostly work hard because that first day when we were all in the spreadsheets, like I think my eyes were like
but then we went to the spa. So
But it was our first retreat in Utah. I felt like that was really a turning point where we got super vulnerable, sharing all of our numbers, like how much do our businesses gross each year? What do we spend on software and utilities, and how much are we paying our employees?
And do you remember we shared life stories also?
Yeah, we did. Personal, personal life stories, good and the bad, and I do remember ripping apart Amy's financials. Where I was like, did you know you're spending this much on, Apple? And she's like, oh my God, that must be my kids, like on all the apps. And it's like, I didn't even notice that. So it is nice to open up in that way where we can literally help each other catch these things and like better our businesses and our personal lives. And
so how did we get there? How did we get to that place?
Right. It definitely took time and removing a member that wasn't a good fit.
Yes, that was tricky. But I also want to say, like, any success that people have, like, yes, a lot of it is hard work. There's also a certain amount of luck involved.
Yeah.
I think we were lucky that we just happened to be the ones that showed up, and we have very complementary strengths.
Yeah.
So, we have a person who's like financially very strong. That would be Courtney. We have someone who's very marketing and branding strong. That would be Veronica. We have someone who's very systems and organization strong. That's me. And then we've got Amy, who's like the HR, like having tough conversations, working with people, like really putting like the people forward in a organization of kind of small to medium size. And that combination, I think, is pretty magical, because I know which of you to talk to about something that I want to get better at.
Yeah.
I agree with that, but I disagree that it was luck.
Okay.
And I think, because I feel like if you're listening to this, it's like, oh shit, then I'm not. like let's
I'm out.
Turn this off now, move on.
Hey, we're accepting applications, $500 application fee.
I don't know. I think we're worth like 100,000.
Oh, I said application fee, girl.
Yeah.
I said application fee.
100,000 a year membership.
Yes.
But no, I don't think it was luck, because we purposefully found a conference that literally was made for us, right? So that's doable for anyone, I do think, to find on some level. And then from there, niched it down to who, like, we really are. We're out of network, business owners, whatever, went to that lunch. And then from there, by collecting everyone's emails, I'm sure you got the 20 people that were there's emails and whatever, sent that out. Who wants to join this mastermind? What's a good date, time, etc. And then from there, it got, who's actually motivated and who's actually interested in joining, and that's us and 1/5 member. But there was, 5 people out of that 20, and then in the conference, out of like 150, whatever. So I don't think it was luck. I think we were so determined to find each other, and whether we're extroverts or introverts, it was easy to like navigate that, and we were willing to put ourselves in that vulnerable position.
Bingo.
Yes.
That's what I want to hit on. Is vulnerability.
And I would say that even if you don't have a conference to go to, identifying similar businesses, I am not afraid of reaching out to a strange business owner.
Yeah.
And I've done it before. There's a wonderful practice in Austin, Deep Eddy Psychotherapy, and I reached out to them. I was like, I love their website. I love their offerings. I kind of want to learn from them. And I spent some time talking to one of the owners, and they actually, in their town, all the therapy practice owners kind of have their own group. It's like a much larger group, so I'm guessing. But I have to say that the vulnerability, once one person becomes more vulnerable, everyone follows. And when, for example, with Laurel, our organizational genius over here, when we saw her spreadsheets, we were like, oh my gosh, that's amazing. She's like, I can send it to you.
Yeah.
And
it's like, anything. We share everything.
Yeah. So that's the thing. That right there, no gatekeeping, right? So
Trust.
1,000%. I feel like, and I don't know what your guys' opinions are, but I feel like once you become an entrepreneur, there's all kinds of obstacles we run into, right? So many obstacles we run into. But when you surround yourself in a community with like-minded individuals, and like-minded, I say with regards to wanting to grow, right? That willingness to grow. And success, right? Their own version of success. That willingness alone provides everyone with this opportunity to learn and grow from one another. And one thing that I have to say that I agree with you with women surrounding each other, being in the group. But one of the biggest hurdles, and I think I could already hear some of my listeners going, well, that's great for you, Veronica, Courtney, Amy, and Laurel. But sometimes women are bitches. Women are competitive. Women talk shit. Women don't want to share. Like, what was it exactly that, like, just kind of turned the switch on for you where you were able to go ahead and let down that guard and open up, even though maybe you might open up and it might not be received?
Well, I think that to answer the question around like competition, like because we are all in very different markets, we aren't set up as competitors. Well, maybe a tiny bit, you and I, Veronica, because we're licensed, our businesses operate in the same
I'm
state.
so glad you brought that
But
up.
like, I have never viewed
No.
you as a competitor.
No.
Like there's no pie we're dividing.
Where
up
is
here.
that then? So that part right there, because
Yeah.
I 1,000% agree
Yeah.
with you. What is that?
Because there are some people that do, unfortunately,
Yes.
see, and just all business owners, there's some business owners that see
Yeah.
others as competition for sure. I try to network a lot with a lot of therapists that I am local
Yeah.
to around Hoboken, New York City, and I would say, it's a majority. It goes great, and especially with therapists, like it's great to talk to other therapists and so on. But there's 10% I'll meet with, and you could
How do
tell
you know?
they
How do you
know.
know?
Oh, you know.
So what do you do?
You be as friendly as you could, and that coffee chat or whatever, and then you move on, and that's that. But you can tell that they, I did meet with one person that comes to mind, and she was very lovely. I'm sure amazing therapist, but she literally said to my face, "You have a group practice? Why would I refer anyone to you?"
Yeah.
because she was a single therapist, and I wouldn't even think of
Right.
that being an issue at all. So
Well,
I feel like there's enough to go around.
We immediately had this spirit of generosity with each other.
Oh,
Like,
1,000%.
let me
Let me
share
help.
this spreadsheet.
But you started that. But yes.
Yeah.
But it opened the floodgates,
Yes.
which was awesome.
Yeah, let me
because-
share. And I would say over the last, it's been a year and a half almost, we have probably collectively shared like at least 6 figures worth of business coaching and
Easily.
tools. And,
Easily.
like,
I think
Yeah.
maybe it's also, some people will reach out and say, "Hi, your business looks great. Can I pick your brain?" And that is different
yeah.
because it's very one-sided, and we've never been that way. We always give and receive in our own ways, and that I think is what, if you're listening to this and looking for this kind of mastermind, that's what you're looking for. People that are generous in their own way and how they can help you and you back, right? Like you offer them stuff back, and they don't have to be equal, but being open. Everyone should be open in that way. So if it is feeling one-sided, like you're mentoring someone, then that which
There's
is
a
not
place for that.
Yeah.
There's a place for that. That is not a
But that's-
mastermind group.
right.
No.
Mastermind group somewhere that you're all dedicated and all
Yes.
growing and lifting each other up.
Bingo.
A saying comes to mind: if you think you're the smartest person in the room, pick a different room.
Pick a different room. Yeah,
Because you
1,000%.
can't learn from it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and in this room, there are people that are smarter than me at different things.
Yes.
So I want to be in this room.
Yeah.
Mentorship, there's a place for that, but that positions you as the smartest person or the most experienced in the room, and like you're not going to get as much from that. I love giving back. I love paying my good fortune and all of the support I've gotten. I love paying that forward. That's not a mastermind.
No. No.
I know looking for the right therapist can be challenging. However, feeling overwhelmed and disconnected is even harder. Life is filled with several twists and turns, some more severe than others. We do our best to handle them as they come and find ourselves at a loss, not knowing what to do or who to turn to. The clinicians here at Outside the Norm Counseling are here to help. We are here to assist you through this time of need. Together, we will identify your strengths and goals and teach you healthy coping skills. Together, we will develop a plan to help you live the life you want to live. Our team is compassionate, genuine, and we take a great deal of pride in providing an empathetic, non-judgmental approach to all of our clients. It's time! You've waited long enough, whether it be for you, your child, or if you're in need of a couple session. We are highly trained clinicians ready to guide you. Schedule an appointment now by calling 951-395-3288. Again, that number is 951-395-3288. We're looking forward to meeting you and being a part of your journey.
So let's go ahead and speak really quickly about mine and your relationship. So we are both in California. We're licensed in California. Easily people would say, and I didn't even think about,
Yeah.
like, as we were walking, we just came back from a walk. And as we're walking, it's like Laurel had brought up, oh, yeah, well, people would see us as competitors.
Mm-hmm.
It had never even crossed my mind. And I was like, as I'm walking, I was like, oh, shit. Yeah, we need to bring that up in this. We need to bring that up in the episode.
Yeah.
But it is true. And I had never seen you or any of you in that way. I see you guys as like my tools in my toolbox that I knew I needed, but I didn't know where to find them.
You guys are the reason I'm gonna get big.
Fuck yeah. Hell
And-
yeah.
And I really look forward to celebrating the hell out of that.
Yes. I can't wait. I can't
Once
wait.
Laurel makes $1 million,
Yes.
she's hosting the
I
next
know.
trip.
She's hosting the next trip.
And truly though, you tried to save money again. I think
You see how she snuck that one in, Amy?
Laurel's gonna be successful
1000%.
with or without us.
Yeah.
Let's just
Yeah,
put it out.
1000%.
So we will celebrate it.
No, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together.
Hell
I
yeah.
love it.
Hell yeah. So what would you say are, well, let's go to that next topic. I want you guys to think of, I know this is totally on the spot, but I want you to think of what is the one benefit, what's your one biggest benefit you received from being in this group?
Owning a business can be a very lonely endeavor. Like
Yeah.
I adore my employees. Like they are incredible people. I think they're better therapists than me, but I'm the group owner. And at the end of the day, like I have to make hard decisions sometimes. That can be very isolating. I'm sure your listeners are like, yeah, it's
Totally
hard
agree.
to be the leader.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't be their
It's
friend.
lonely.
Yeah, I mean,
is
I would
lonely.
love to be friends with my employees, but that's not appropriate.
No.
They're wonderful people, but when I have to make hard decisions because of this group, I don't feel I'm making them alone.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Damn it. I
Yeah,
want to
we
steal that.
snapped
But I can't.
that.
I know,
Snapped
right? I know. It's so good. All right, who's next? Because now I need to go last.
Yeah, no, that's great. I mean, I think for me, it's where I'm not the strongest, right? And asking them for literal help of like,
Yeah.
something's on fire. I literally don't know what to do. I've been holding this in for a week.
I've been holding it in like a fart.
and this is what's happening. What do I say?
Yeah.
Like, what do I literally do? And they literally every single time help me to the T, like literally like what to say. I write it down and then I go do that, and they make me a better manager, a better boss. They definitely lift up my business so much. So, I think, thank you for that. But I think that's the biggest, there's so much I've gotten out of this group. But that's the biggest thing that I always know. If shit hits the fan, this is where I'm coming.
Yes.
Yeah.
And this is where I'm getting the advice. And then I'm taking the advice and doing it. And I'll report back, which is also nice.
Absolutely.
I think for each of us, we've identified certain personality traits and certain tendencies and behaviors.
Mm-hmm.
And for me to hear from others to say, Amy, like you're not thinking of sustainability, you're
Yeah.
being too far on the generous side, or you're, it's like, me.
Yeah.
And Courtney will be like, you really don't need to have a $2,000 Zoom membership
No.
when you can just use Google
For free.
You're already paying
Side
for
note,
Google.
it's free.
Okay. So there's all kinds of things, but I really feel like when you get to know each other's personalities and like I'm gonna need strength when it comes to standing up for,
Whatever changes you're going to make.
whatever changes I'm gonna make.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The biggest thing that I would say I benefited from this group, God, I had one, and I would say systems. Like I didn't know, when you're an entrepreneur, obviously you have to have systems in place. And you can read so many books, but to actually see how these systems have helped each one of you grow your practice. And like, I'll ask you a question and it's like, Veronica, where are you going? Like, I don't know how you went from Cali to like Antarctica. Like, bring your ass back to Cali because of my ideas. Or Veronica, hold on. Yes, we are going to get to Antarctica, but instead of you like just getting up and running.
Did you bring your coat?
Yeah, did you bring your coat? And then on top of that, Veronica, you're not wearing shoes. You're running to Antarctica barefoot. Because that's just me. I'm like, fuck it, let's go. And I really appreciate that. Like my I don't want to say weaknesses, but at the same time I do. Like some of the weaknesses of the company, I know they're not weaknesses and we could go into that all day, but Like, 'cause some of the areas that are challenging for me are brought to light, and I'm able to get a full comprehensive plan on the systems that I need to put in place or the questions that I need to ask in order for me to get to that next level. And I wouldn't be able to do that by myself, because although I'm like obviously such a genius, there's no way I'd be able to get there. And just the amount of insight you guys have provided me. And I will say one more thing, and you guys are going to love me and hate me for this question. So that's business. How has this group benefited you personally?
We have a lot of fun together.
Yeah,
It's a lot of fun.
that was a blanket answer.
Well, I could
Go deeper,
That's
Laurel.
why I had to jump on it first. She's like, I'm leaving. Good
She's like,
night."
I'm out. Vulnerability out. Out the window. Out the window.
I can say for me, I mean, obviously, like, you know, I have a family business.
Yeah.
My husband's the practice owner.
Yeah.
And, you know, if I go back to him and I say, I really like this one idea, and so does, you know, Courtney and Laurel.
We're
Now-
a team.
He and I are very aligned, but you know, sometimes it really adds some weight. But in terms of personally, like, I think that when we went through that one shared kind of traumatic incident with
About.
it connected us more, because we all kind of struggled with what do we do with a member that's we
Yeah.
don't trust,
Yeah.
basically. And this is all about trust.
Right.
And I feel like I have girlfriends.
Yes.
And I love you guys. I mean,
Yeah.
you are a community that is incredibly important to me. So, like, personally, I mean, I can't say enough.
Yeah. I'll open it up because I see Courtney and Laurel hesitating. So for me, there was a couple. There was a
I don't think they're hesitating.
Laurel's like, I'm ready to go.
But Courtney was like, oh wow, really? Are we your community?
well, so I have friends, and even though I have friends, like, my friends don't necessarily, I shouldn't say all of them. There's a good amount of, let me go ahead and backtrack a little bit. I have friends. Some of them are entrepreneurs, some of them are not entrepreneurs. The ones that are entrepreneurs totally fucking get me. 1000% get me.
Yeah.
The ones that aren't, I mean, we can kick it, you know. It's just, I should say it's different. And it might be different for them too. Here, not only do I have a friend group, I also have this business group. But let me get to the personal. There are a couple things that have happened for my family. And that was really, really difficult for me. So difficult for me. And I had to miss one of our groups because I had to attend to something that involved family. And it was one of those things where it was like, shit, this is still fresh. I don't know you guys so well, because this was very, very personal for me. And at the same time, it was like, there was just this feeling that I had when I looked at you guys.
The way we received it.
Yes,
supported you. Yeah.
I didn't even give them everything, but it was like on that Zoom call, I just told them I couldn't go. I didn't really get into why I couldn't go, but the minute I seen their, like, just their response to that, it was just kind of like, fuck it, just say it. And it was received so beautifully. And this was something very, very difficult for me. And I just have to say, like, I felt like, I didn't feel like you guys carried me because I didn't need to be carried, but I felt like this love, I felt this comfort, I felt this security, I felt like this fucking loyalty. And it just was so strong. Now you guys got me fucking crying. But it was just
Well, you
so,
had us crying then, because
Yeah.
to see you suffering was really hard.
but it was just this beautiful experience. And in that moment, it was like, oh, I found my tribe. It was like fucking happening. Yeah. Courtney and Laurel.
How do you follow that? Like, no, I think going back to kind of what I said before, which is business related, but my business, when you're an entrepreneur, it is your life also.
Yeah.
So, you know, I do practice and preach work-life balance, but with that,
But not for yourself.
it's not really for myself. No, but
for everybody else.
no, but with that said, you can't, like, I can't separate them. Like, for an example, if an employee quits, right? Like, that's, you know, it's definitely a hard transition for the business and yourself and whatever. And, you know, when something like that happens, how can it not seep into your personal life?
Yeah.
Your emotions and your feelings. And this group helped me so much to, you know, remind me of all the things, like it's gonna be okay. That's very normal, you know, for people to leave and come and go, and you know, that's the work that we're in, and you know, just lift me up and push me to move forward. And I do feel like if I didn't have this group personally, I would be a wreck of like, oh my God, my life is over, and wallow in it instead of like, oh, all right, let's pick up the pieces and keep it moving.
Yeah, and I want to just add that when you're struggling, it's not all just like, oh, it's going to get better.
No.
Sometimes it's like, fuck that jerk. That
Where does it live?
You need to hear that.
And we do this with love. How did you contribute to that?
Yes.
Like what? Like holding each other lovingly accountable.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, and it's helpful because that is the real response, because it's not just, oh, it'll be okay, it'll be okay. It's saying like, what can we learn from this, and how do we grow our business so this doesn't happen again, right? And that's what's super helpful.
And sometimes it's very uncomfortable to get that feedback, like, oh yeah, I could have done something better. I could have done something that might have made this not go badly. Yeah. But I know you all have my back. I know you would not just tell me something to be mean. Like you're doing it because you are as invested in my success as I am.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And with that, it took years. Like we've been together now like 2 years,
year and a half.
Yeah. So I think that's a big thing too. Like you're not going to get to this level so quickly with a mastermind you're just forming, but you can get to this, you know, if you're all really dedicated. And you know, again, I think it's hard. We're all so busy, and it's hard to keep a standing appointment, you know, for this meeting and prioritizing it, but we do, and that shows a lot too. You know, that we prioritize this group, that it is important. So it just that showing up shows each other like we respect our time.
And it doesn't work if you don't have everybody showing up.
Right.
No.
And I've been in a group like that before. I kind of mentioned where, you know, it's a small group also. So when one or two people don't show, it's like this isn't even a group. So what is the point? And why am I carving out my schedule for something that people don't show up to?
Yeah.
So that
I've
sucks.
also been in a group that was just like, I'm reserving a time, and just people just decide not to. Yeah.
And we created structure, which
we
is
did.
also good.
We were very intentional about that. We were like, well, do we want to meet every week? And we're like, oh my gosh, no, not another weekly meeting.
Yeah.
But once a month, you don't get that like richness. There's too much to catch up on. So just so listeners know, our structure right now is we meet every other week for 90 minutes. And then every 5 or 6 months, we do an intensive weekend, work hard, play hard. And that really is our sweet spot.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Perfect.
So last question. As an entrepreneur, and you guys all have successful, thriving businesses, what is one piece of, I don't know, what is one piece of advice that you would give a fellow entrepreneur?
Go to therapy.
I don't think that's needed.
Well,
And what's your URL?
Laurel Collective Therapy in California.
I mean, mine would be to surround yourself by people who are smarter than you,
Yes.
and constantly learn and give yourself a break,
yeah,
because we're all just like humans and just living our lives. We're all learning as we go, and we're doing the best we can with what we know now. So,
I think mine's research. I've never taken a business class in my life, and I would say I run a very successful business, and I taught it literally all to myself in a way. So I do think investing in your own time is very important, and researching. You can find everything for free. I'm laughing because they make fun of me.
We make fun of her constantly.
We love her.
Like, you know, you could do that for free.
And like, you know, everyone around me here is like, oh, I paid for this like $2,000 training. And, you know, I do find everything for free. It is very possible to do that. So I'm just putting it out there. Google, YouTube, whatever. But yeah, you can find everything online, so you can teach it to yourself. Teach it to yourself. Put in that time and effort, and as long as you're serious about it, that's how you learn and grow. Obviously, you could go back to school and do something like that, but I just was so dedicated that I taught it to myself and researched and networked. I mean, I think that's probably the go-to answer that a lot of people will tell you, but it truly does matter that you put yourself out there and put your business out there, whether it's online, in person, in your community. But I do think networking is a big deal.
Is it bad for me to add another one?
No.
I'm just thinking about doing what feels authentic to you.
Yes.
If you're trying to build a business and you don't really care about what it is that you're promoting or selling or creating, and you're just trying to make money, I would
Customers
say,
will know.
yeah, it's going to come through.
Mhm.
And just aligning your own values with your business and figuring out, a sweet spot there.
Yeah.
It just comes way more naturally. Like, I'm not a clinician, but I love therapy, and I could just sing therapy's praises all day long. And I feel like I'm in the exact spot I need to be in, and I wish that for everyone.
But also know your worth. So yes, you want to love what you do, but you deserve to make a living off of that as well.
Yeah. Laurel, what do you got?
I'm gonna try not to disagree with Courtney on you can find everything for free, but so it's not quite a disagreement though. I think two things. One is you do have to invest in your business for it to grow.
Yes.
Like you can't just. Which the second piece of that is this phrase: "What got you here won't get you there." Particularly relevant for us. We all started out with not Amy, but we started out with like a solo therapy practice where it was just us. And when you shift from being just you to including other therapists, you have to completely change how you do everything,
Yeah.
especially your marketing.
Yeah, it's a new
1,000%.
business.
It's a new
Totally
business, and sure, it's in the same field, but you can't approach it the same way. So that phrase, "what got you here won't get you there," I think that applies to any change or inflection point in your business, and you need to be truly open to doing things in a different way, even if you're uncomfortable with it. And I love this group because you do push me to lean into things that I'm not as comfortable with and to try new things, because you guys know, like, what got me here isn't going to get me to a larger practice that just has more security and we're able to offer more services.
Yeah.
Right.
I would say that my biggest tip is show up as your true self. Like,
Yes.
don't bullshit. If you're joining a mastermind group, nobody gives a shit. Nobody cares how much money you make. I mean, they do.
They do.
They do. And what I mean by that is you don't have to come across as, oh my God, I make millions of dollars.
No, don't do that.
No. Like nobody gives a shit. I mean, we do and we don't. We give a shit when we come down, open up the spreadsheets, and then help you with, or have Courtney or whoever help us design like a budget plan, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you don't have to pretend like your business is doing so much better than where it's really at.
Mm-hmm.
So you want to come in truly authentic, truly open, because in order for you to grow, you have to show people where you're at. Otherwise, you're going to have an answer for everything. You're going to have that stick up your ass. And guess what? It's not relatable.
There's no openness.
And you're not going to get help.
You're not going to get, what do you need help on?
Yeah.
It's,
No,
like,
I
going,
got it all
it's like going to therapy and
I love those.
being like, I just have general anxiety over taking tests.
Yeah,
And
get the hell out of
really,
here.
like, your mom died 2 weeks ago, but you don't mention that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's similar where, like, you got to get a little deeper
Bingo.
to get some help here.
Yeah. Well, ladies, this was absolutely amazing. This was so much fun. Thank you guys so much for joining me. So really quickly, where can our audience find you? And we're definitely going to include this in the show notes, but where can they find you?
Laurel Therapy Collective is at laureltherapy.net.
Beautiful.
NashvillePsych.com.
That's right.
Anchor Therapy at anchortherapy.org.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much for being on. Now we got to take showers and get ready for dinner.
Time to party.
Time to party.
Watch out, Nashville.
Raise your hand if you are ready to level up your marriage for 2023. Do you find that you're spending your time together with your husband checked out and in front of the TV? I know you're ready for tangible strategies that actually get you results. Reignite the spark in your marriage, have fun, and grow together. Well, I hope you have your hand raised at this minute because I have something special for you. I'm introducing my brand new 6-question marriage predictor quiz that's gonna give you personalized results to catapult you into the next stage of your marriage journey. That means you'll receive the results to where your marriage can get the best help. If you've got just 1 minute, head to veronicacisneros.org/quiz. Again, that's veronicacisneros.org/quiz, and you can take my brand new quiz, Marriage Predictor. Get your results delivered right to your email address. Again, that's veronicacisneros.org/quiz, veronicacisneros.org/quiz. What's up, ladies? Just want to let you guys know that your ratings and reviews for this podcast are greatly appreciated. If you love this podcast, please go to iTunes right now, write a review, rate the episode, and subscribe. Don't forget to share it with your friends.
Addiction impacts all of us. Addiction's consequences run through all of us. From ourselves to our loved ones and through our communities, addiction creates so much loss and grief. My name is Dwayne Osterlin, and I'm the host of the Addicted Mind podcast, a show featuring personal stories, expert guests, and vital information about addiction and addiction recovery. We'll talk with leading treatment providers to discuss the latest research and treatment options for this devastating disease and advocate for mental health awareness. We discuss topics like the importance of creating a community of support to helping loved ones to some of the latest research on psychedelic medicines. The Addicted Mind podcast has been about creating hope, listening to stories of many amazing people that have overcome addiction and are thriving. If you or a loved one is struggling with addiction, subscribe to the Addicted Mind podcast wherever you get your podcasts or check out theaddictedmind.com. New episodes every Monday. See you there.
Oh, hey, it's Erin.
And I'm Michaela, and we're the hosts of the Two Sober Girls podcast, and we are on a mission to spill the wild truth about sobriety.
Forget the rosé all day cliche. Sobriety is flipping amazing.
Absolutely. It's not just about quitting the drink. It's a gift you give yourself and your loved ones.
So what are you waiting for? Break up with that old toxic relationship with alcohol and let us show you the possibilities.
And here's the thing. Everything your precious heart desires becomes way easier without the influence of alcohol.
We're not just two sober girls. We're also wellness coaches. We're here to show you how to optimize health, lifestyle, and beauty, feel sexy and alive as F.
So stay tuned because we're rolling out new episodes every Monday wherever you get your podcasts, and trust us, they have your name written all over them. We can't wait to share the magic of sobriety and wellness with you. Subscribe to Two Sober Girls podcast today and come follow us on Instagram for behind the scenes action and send us a DM. We can't wait to meet you.